Have you ever asked yourself, why does intimacy seem to fade after 60, even when the desire still lingers inside me? What if I told you the real issue isn't your age, it's that the subtle signals flowing through your veins have been disrupted? Would you be open to looking at this differently? I'm Dr. James, a board-certified urologist and men's health expert with over 3 decades of experience, helping men just like you, men who once believed their best days were behind them. But the truth is, your body has never truly given up. It's just been waiting for the right signal. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to reignite that signal naturally, safely, and starting with ingredients already in your kitchen. Here's what I've seen time and time again. What causes most men over 62 struggle isn't physical weakness, it's poor circulation. And this doesn't have to be permanent. Modern science shows that the real culprit is the steep drop in nitric oxide, a tiny molecule with a massive role in expanding blood vessels and promoting healthy blood flow. When this flow is blocked, so is your ability to perform, feel desire, and enjoy intimacy. But here's what excites me. Your body can bounce back. And often, what it needs isn't a pill but the right understanding and the right daily habits. Even a simple homemade drink, when used the right way, can reactivate blood flow, strengthen performance, and help you truly reconnect physically in ways you may have thought were gone forever. And remember, this isn't just physical. When blood flows better, so does confidence. I've seen men not only recover their function but feel more alive, present, and emotionally close to their partners again. That's because physical and emotional health are deeply intertwined, especially after 60, when every feeling runs deeper. You don't need to overhaul your life. I won't ask you to run marathons or give up everything you enjoy. All I ask is that you're open to small, science-backed shifts that can make a big impact in this video. I'll reveal 4 natural drinks, not expensive, not complicated, can restore healthy circulation and revive the intimacy you deserve. And by the end, I'll share a special preparation tip I usually reserve for my closest patients, one that triples the effects of these ingredients and turns your drink into the fastest, most powerful natural performance booster I've ever recommended. If you've ever doubted whether your body could come back, I invite you to stay with me, because what's coming next might just change everything. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss future science-backed tips made specifically for men over 60. And if you're ready for a fresh start, drop a 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. I'm listening, and I'm here to support you. Now, let's talk about the first ingredient that made me stop and think, why aren't more men using this? And that is beetroot juice. 1. Beetroot juice, the circulation igniter most men overlook. Let me ask you something. What if your body isn't broken at all, but simply waiting for a natural spark to fire things up again? In the last section, we talked about how poor age is the silent saboteur of male vitality after 60, and now I want to introduce you to one of the most underestimated tools to fight back: beetroot juice. This isn't some trendy supplement or a miracle drug. It's a deep red earthy root that, when juiced, can activate some of the most powerful biological responses your body is capable of, especially when it comes to nitric oxide production, the true key to blood flow and performance. Now, I've worked with thousands of men across 3 decades. Some walked in defeated, convinced they were past the point of no return. One of them was Ron, 71, retired, quiet, and visibly carrying the weight of disappointment. His words stuck with me. I feel like I'm here, but my body left years ago. He didn't need more tests. His heart was fine. His labs were average, but his circulation stagnant. Instead of medications, I asked him to make one small change: drink 1 glass of fresh beet juice every morning for 2 weeks. That's it. No pills, no prescriptions. When he returned, his posture had changed, but so had his energy. It's like a switch flipped, he told me. That wasn't a placebo. That was physiology in action. DC beets are rich in natural dietary nitrates. Your body converts these into nitric oxide, a molecule that tells your blood vessels to relax and widen, allowing more blood to reach the areas that matter, not just your heart and brain, but your most intimate regions as well. Studies have shown that beet juice can increase nitric oxide levels by over 16% in less than an hour. That's faster than most medications and without the risky side effects. But the benefits don't stop at circulation. What happens when blood flows better? Blood pressure tends to normalize, mental clarity improves, physical stamina increases, and emotionally, men often report feeling more grounded, more alive, and more in tune with their partner. That's the magic of reconnecting the physical with the emotional. When your body works with you, your confidence follows. And here's the part I want you to take to heart. You don't need to overhaul your life to see results. 1 glass of beet juice in the morning is a start. You can blend it with a bit of lemon, ginger, or even apple for taste. But consistency is key. Give your body the building blocks it needs, and it knows exactly what to do. So if you've ever felt like your energy is fading, or that inner spark just isn't as strong, know this: your body hasn't stopped. It's waiting, and this juice, it's one of the simplest ways to wake it up. Now, beetroot juice is only the beginning, because when you combine it with the next ingredient, one that stirs a fire within your blood vessels, the results become even more dramatic. If anything I've said so far resonates with you, if you're nodding quietly or simply curious, drop a 1 in the comments right now. It helps me know you're still with me, still committed to reclaiming your vitality. Let's move on. The next natural booster does more than support circulation, it ignites it. And when paired with beetroot juice, it has the potential to restore not just function, but desire. Stay with me, is where things get exciting. 2. Cayenne pepper, the natural accelerator of male circulation. Now, if beetroot juice opens the door, the question becomes, how do we get the blood rushing through it with real force? What flips the switch from passive flow to powerful surge? That's where cayenne pepper enters the picture, unexpected, fiery, and completely transformative. I know what you might be thinking, cayenne. You mean that dusty red powder at the back of my spice rack? Yes, exactly that. But after more than 30 years in men's health, I've learned this simple truth. Some of the most powerful health solutions are the ones we've overlooked for decades, sitting right there under our noses, waiting to be rediscovered. Cayenne pepper contains a potent compound called capsaicin, and when it comes to blood flow, this isn't just a culinary kick, it's a biological spark plug. Capsaicin triggers vasodilation, a process where your blood vessels widen, allowing blood to flow more freely and with less pressure on the heart. What that means for you: less strain, more circulation, and more fuel being delivered to where it matters most. The first time I explain this to a patient, they usually nod politely but remain skeptical. That is, until they try it. And once they do, they often come back saying the same thing. Doc, I felt it right away. I remember one man in particular, Thomas, 67, a retired firefighter who had always prided himself on his physical strength. He exercised, ate well, but still felt like something was missing. That spark just wasn't there anymore. I suggested he add just a small pinch of cayenne to his morning beetroot juice. 1 week later he came back with a wide grin. I don't know what just happened, he said, but it feels like something woke up inside me, and he was right. That warmth in your chest, that tingle in your skin, that sudden sense of energy, those aren't just feelings. That's your blood moving again. That's circulation being restored to areas that may have been quietly neglected for years. That's biology reawakening the vitality your mind never let go of. But the benefits of cayenne don't stop there. In my clinical experience, it also supports healthy blood pressure, helps relieve joint discomfort, and even boosts metabolic function. For men over 60, these aren't just bonuses, they're pillars of staying sharp, energized, and fully present. Because when your circulation improves, so does your clarity, your mood, your confidence. Physical change invites mental strength to rise with it. And here's the beauty: you don't need to go extreme. A pinch of cayenne, not a spoonful, just a pinch is often enough to create the effect. You can stir it into your beet juice, sprinkle it over a salad, or even blend it into a savory smoothie. What matters most is consistency. Give your body this daily boost, and it will begin showing you what it's capable of. So let me ask you, have you ever felt like the flame inside you has dimmed? Even when everything else in your life seems steady? That sense that something fundamental is missing, like your edge is slipping. If that speaks to you, type in the comments. That fire may have faded, but I'm here to help you relight it naturally, powerfully, and with purpose. Now, as beetroot juice unlocks your vessels and cayenne pushes life through them, there's one more piece to this formula. In fact, it's a pair of nutrients that can help sustain everything we've started. If you've ever wished you could not only perform but stay strong, resilient, and centered under pressure, then what's coming next might be exactly what your body's but I'm asking for. Let's keep going because the best is still ahead. 3. L-arginine plus L-citrulline. Fuel for sustained performance and confidence. So far, we've unlocked the doors with beetroot juice, we've pushed the fire through with cayenne pepper. But what if I told you there's a way to keep that fire burning steadily day after day, not just in the moment? Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt your body respondingly to lose that energy as quickly as it came? What if the real breakthrough lies not in temporary fixes but in giving your body the fuel it needs to maintain performance long term? That's exactly where L-arginine and L-citrulline come into play too. Amino acids that work together in one of the most fascinating and effective ways I've seen in clinical practice. When used properly, they don't just help in the moment, they sustain the change. And that's what so many men over 60 have been unknowingly missing. L-arginine on its own is the raw material your body uses to make nitric oxide, the master molecule behind blood vessel relaxation and improved circulation. Without enough nitric oxide, all those efforts to improve blood flow hit a ceiling. But here's the twist. When taken by itself, a large portion of L-arginine is broken down in the gut before it ever reaches your bloodstream. That's where L-citrulline steps in, not as a substitute, but as a booster. L-citrulline helps your body naturally produce and maintain higher levels of L-arginine over time. Think of it as the maintenance crew that keeps the nitric oxide engine humming. More nitric oxide means more reliable blood flow, longer-lasting energy, and greater confidence when it matters. I saw this in action with one of my longtime patients. Robert, 72 years old when he first walked into my office, a reserved, thoughtful man, clearly discouraged. His words were quiet, but heavy. I don't feel like myself anymore. That phrase, I've heard it more times than I can count. But I've also seen how quickly that story can change. I recommended he begin combining L-arginine and L-citrulline into his morning routine, mixing it directly into the beet cayenne drink we had already introduced. 4 weeks later, Robert returned, standing taller, smiling more freely. "Doctor," he said, "I feel stronger. Not just physically, but like I've gotten a part of myself back. I didn't realize I'd lost." What he regained wasn't just circulation. It was confidence. The kind that comes from knowing your body is no longer fighting against you. It's fighting for you, and the benefits extend far beyond intimacy. These amino acids support heart health, improve muscular endurance, reduce fatigue, and even contribute to deeper, more restorative sleep. The improvements begin at a cellular level, but they ripple outward into your energy, focus, and emotional vitality. It's one of the clearest examples I've witnessed of the physical and the mental healing together. So, if you're someone who's tired of chasing quick fixes that don't last, consider this. A few natural building blocks added to your daily ritual can create long-term transformation. A scoop of L-citrulline with a dose of L-arginine paired with our beet cayenne base could be the most effective non-pharmaceutical formula you've ever tried, and still we're not done. There's one final element that completes this formula. It's not a lab-made compound. It's a time-honored natural ingredient rooted in ancient wisdom, one that not only supports blood flow but also touches hormonal balance, emotional well-being, and masculine vitality at the deepest level. If you've been watching and feeling that sense of possibility rising inside you, stay with me. What's coming next ties all of this together in a way that may finally give you the sense of wholeness you've been missing. For pomegranate juice, ancient endurance in a modern glass, we've sparked the engine with beetroot. We've accelerated flow with cayenne. We've stabilized and fueled the system with amino acids. But now, it's time to deepen the formula both biologically and emotionally. So here's the question. What if the final piece of this natural performance blend wasn't just a booster, but a symbol of renewal? Enter pomegranate juice, a fruit as ancient as medicine itself. There's something almost poetic about it. Maybe it's the rich crimson color. Maybe it's the fact that it's been honored across civilizations from Persia to the Mediterranean, not just as food, but as a source of vitality. But what captivates me most is what pomegranate does for men, especially those in their 60s, 70s, and beyond who are seeking to reconnect with their strength, stamina, and sense of presence. This isn't just a sweet juice. It's a cardiovascular and hormonal powerhouse that supports male health in ways most men never hear about. What makes pomegranate so powerful? It's loaded with polyphenols, antioxidant compounds that protect blood vessels, reduce inflammation, and dramatically enhance nitric oxide production, the molecule we've been talking about since the beginning. Clinical studies suggest that pomegranate juice can boost nitric oxide levels by up to 25%, resulting in improved blood flow, firmer erections, and longer-lasting endurance. But beyond the data, the most meaningful transformation lies in how it makes men feel. I'll never forget Frank, a 74-year-old retired engineer, who came to me after trying nearly every over-the-counter product you could name. He was skeptical, fatigued, and emotionally distant from himself and his partner. When I suggested adding half a cup of pomegranate juice to the beet cayenne amino acid blend, he raised an eyebrow. "Isn't that stuff for women?" he asked, half joking. I smiled and asked him to trust me. 3 weeks later, Frank walked into my office with a glow I hadn't seen before, not just in his posture but in his presence. "Doctor," he said, "I feel like I'm back. Not just physically, but like I'm here again." That's the power of pomegranate. It doesn't just support blood flow. It nourishes your arteries, helps reduce plaque buildup, supports natural testosterone production, and revives energy that's been slowly slipping away. It brings depth to this drink emotionally and biologically, and for many men, it becomes more than a daily health tonic. It becomes a quiet ritual, an act of reclaiming control, strength, and identity. Now, here's where many men go wrong. They underestimate how to prepare it properly. Even the most potent ingredients will fall flat if mixed the wrong way or taken inconsistently. That's why I always emphasize timing, pairing, and routine. If you're serious about experiencing the full power of this formula, I'll show you how to combine these ingredients, beetroot, cayenne, L-arginine, and pomegranate, into a simple morning ritual that can transform how you feel, move, and show up every day. And all it takes is one thoughtful change in how you start your morning. So let me ask you, are you ready to not just function but to feel like yourself again? To reconnect not just physically but emotionally with your strength, your presence, your desire? If this message speaks to you, drop A in the comments. Let me know you're ready. Because what comes next is the final step: how to put it all together, and how one simple habit can carry you toward a stronger, more energized, more connected version of yourself. Let's finish strong together. How to prepare the drink and what most men get wrong. So now that you know the ingredients, let's talk about the how. Because believe me, this step matters more than most men realize. Over the years, I've watched patients try beetroot cayenne, amino acids, and even pomegranate juice on their own. Some used them inconsistently, others got the ratios wrong, and inevitably they'd come back saying, "Doctor, I didn't really feel much." But when they followed the precise preparation method, something shifted. That spark they thought they'd lost, it came back often faster than they ever expected. And if you follow along closely here, you might be surprised how quickly your body responds. Here's how I guide my patients and how I prepare it myself. Start with 2 medium-sized beets. No need to peel them, just wash thoroughly. The skin actually contains helpful phytonutrients your body can use. Chop the beets into chunks and blend them with about half a cup of water until you get a thick, rich, dark crimson base. This is your nitric oxide foundation, your body's green light for circulation. Next comes the heat. Half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. I won't sugarcoat this part, it's bold. But the warmth you'll feel in your chest, that gentle buzz in your gut, that subtle lift in alertness, that's not discomfort. That's your blood moving, channels opening, and your brain waking up, almost like taking a deep breath of crisp air on a cold morning. You'll know it's working now. Stir in 1.5 teaspoons of L-arginine powder and 1.5 teaspoons of L-citrulline. These 2 amino acids don't just work, they amplify each other. L-citrulline ensures your body can sustain higher L-arginine levels longer, keeping nitric oxide production steady well beyond the initial boost. Think of it as not just lighting the fire, but keeping it lit. Then comes the final touch. Half a cup of 100% pure pomegranate juice, not from concentrate, no added sugars, just the real thing. This ingredient brings depth not only in flavor, but in impact. It rounds out the formula with powerful polyphenols that support heart health, natural testosterone, and mental clarity. Now here's something important. Don't sip this drink like a smoothie. This isn't about indulgence, it's about intention. Stir everything well and drink it all in one go. This sends a unified signal to your body, prompting an orchestrated biological response: improved blood flow, heightened alertness, and cellular energy activation. For best results, take this on an empty stomach. Ideally 30 to 45 minutes before physical activity or intimacy. Why? Because your body is most responsive when it's not digesting other foods, allowing the ingredients to be absorbed efficiently and act fast. Some men drink it daily to support long-term vascular health. Others reserve it for key moments when they want to feel their strongest. Either way, the point is consistency and knowing why you're taking it, because when done correctly your body will respond. And if you're still wondering what kind of impact this could have, not just on your physical performance, but on your emotional presence, your confidence, your relationship with yourself, let me assure you, it can be profound. This isn't just a drink. It's a decision, a way of reclaiming your connection to the man you know you are, even if you haven't seen him in a while. So if you're ready to try this, or if you've already experimented with it and want to refine your process, drop A in the comments below. Let's see how many of us are reclaiming not just health but control. In the next part, I'll walk you through exactly what changes you can expect physically, mentally, and emotionally, and how this one shift in your morning could influence far more than just your energy. Stay with me. This is where it gets personal and powerful. What you can expect physically, emotionally, and beyond now that you understand each ingredient, now that you've learned how to prepare it the right way. Let's talk about what actually happens, what you might feel, and why that matters, far more than just what shows up on a lab report. Because this isn't just about circulation. It's not just about nitric oxide levels or hormone support. This is about you. It's about how your body responds, how your mind reconnects, and how your identity as a man becomes anchored again, strong, clear, and alive. Let me ask you, when was the last time you felt fully present in your own skin? Most men begin noticing changes within the first 30 to 45 minutes after drinking the full mix, especially if they take it on an empty stomach. There's a warm, steady bloom across the chest, a subtle buzz low in the abdomen. Sometimes it feels like you've stepped outside and taken the deepest breath you've had in years. That's not your imagination, that's oxygen-rich blood, moving through pathways that may have been sluggish for decades. That's nitric oxide doing what it's designed to do, opening channels, feeding tissues, and bringing you back online. And yes, for many men, erections become more responsive, firmer, faster. The hesitation, the uncertainty, the internal debate of will it work this time, it begins to fade. But here's the part I find most fascinating after all these years in practice. It's not just physical, it's personal. When a man begins to feel his body respond again, when he looks across the table and sees his partner's eyes light up like they used to, when he wakes up with purpose, with energy, with a sense of readiness, he starts remembering who he really is. I've had patients come to me weeks after starting this protocol and say something that hits me every time. "Doctor, I feel like I got myself back, not just in the bedroom but at home, in how they speak, in how they show up with their grandkids, their projects, their passions. There's more laughter, more focus, more presence." Because this isn't just about physical performance, it's about pride, about that inner knowing that you're not done yet, that your health, your vitality, your identity, they're still yours, and they're still within your control. And this is why I care so deeply, because I'm not just treating biology, I'm helping men reclaim connection with their body, their partner, and their sense of purpose. If you've made it this far in the video, I know one thing: you're serious. You're not just browsing or hoping. You're ready to take action. You want to feel like yourself again, not a version diminished by age, but a man who still chooses strength. So let me leave you with this: you are not too old. Your body is not done, and aging is not a slow surrender. It's an opportunity to get smarter, stronger, and more intentional. This drink formula, it's a tool, a starting point, but the most powerful ingredient is your choice to show up, to care for yourself, and to believe that more is possible. In just a moment, I'll wrap up with one simple truth, one shift in thinking that has changed the way my patients approach aging forever. But before we go there, I want to hear from you. What part of today's message resonated with you the most? Drop a word or phrase in the comments, just one. Whether it's strength, confidence, or even just hope, let's open a conversation, because you're not alone, and we're not done yet. Stay with me. What's coming next could change how you act from this day forward. Closing message: you're not done yet if you're still watching. I want to speak to you not just as a doctor, but as someone who has walked alongside thousands of men just like you. Men who've quietly carried the weight of change. Men who've watched their energy, their desire, and their confidence slowly slip away with time. And if that sounds like you, hear me when I say this: you are not done. What I've shared with you today isn't just a drink, it's a strategy, a lifeline, a reminder that your health, your performance, and your sense of self are still very much within your reach. Beetroot juice helps unlock your vessels. Cayenne stirs the fire. L-arginine and L-citrulline fuel the flow and keep it steady. And pomegranate weaves it all together, supporting your heart, your hormones, and your deeper connection to life. These are not exotic ingredients. They are simple, powerful tools backed by science, rooted in nature, and proven through real lives. I've watched them restore relationships, rebuild confidence, and reignite the spark in men who once believed that part of their life was over. And let me be honest, this was never just about erections. It's about identity. It's about standing tall again, feeling present, and being proud of who you are at every stage of life. That's what this formula really offers. Not just blood flow, but a bridge back to the man you remember, and maybe deeply missed. So if something in this video touched you, don't just think about it. Try it. Take that one step. You may be surprised by what happens when you give yourself permission to show up again. And if you've ever felt alone in this, share your thoughts in the comments. You never know who you might help by speaking up. If you found this video helpful, give it a like to let me know. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I'd be honored to have you here. Tap the bell so you don't miss what's coming next, because the journey isn't behind you, it's just beginning.